A new thriller horror combination mix movie that does some pretty unique things just hit digital. And, I think it's got some things in it that might be surprising to some people, but this one has reviews all over the place. So let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of New Life, which is a movie that just hit digital here recently, and it's coming to the UK June-ish, so keep your eyes out there if you want to watch it. But for here in the US, we did get the opportunity to rent it. It's $6.99 right now, and I took the plunge on it because I wanted to check it out. I wanted to check out something more fresh and new and current. So there is a pretty vague understanding of what this movie is, and it's one of those movies that the less you know, the better off it is, which a lot of movies are like that, but this one particularly does something unique with the story that kind of surprises the viewer somewhat early on. This one is a movie that kind of keeps you on the edge of the seat as a certain type of movie. It's like a thriller, and then it adds things to it that will surprise you, that change the genre a little bit later on. Essentially, this is a story about a mysterious woman that you meet early on who's covered in blood, and she is on the run, and you don't really know from who or why or what has happened, and that goes on for about half the movie. But she's on the run, and she is trying to go north to Canada to escape whatever thing that is going on. You find out early on that there was a significant other involved, and there's some story elements that are pieced in on that character as you learn this character and what she's going through. What this movie attempts to do is kind of throw the viewer into like confusion as to what is happening, so that you sort of slowly understand what is happening over the course of the movie, almost in a way kind of like Memento, but not in that style, just in the reverse way, so that you know more as you go on, and it doesn't reveal exactly why she's on the run. So it adds a level of mystery and suspense to a lot of the situations that she's going through. This is a movie that also kind of preys on being nice to people, and it is kind of using that as a tool to kind of cause suspense, to cause problems, and to make you question everything that you would do in that situation if you met this person on the run. This is by director John Rossman, who has not done any other films. He actually helped write this one as well, and I think it's actually a pretty decent movie for someone's first attempt at a film. There are moments in the film, because this movie's trying to be a big idea in a very small indie, there are some areas where there might be loose kind of story writing, and some people are tearing it apart because of that. I just kind of went in for the ride. I thought the acting was fairly good. Like, it was well above average. It wasn't anything like Oscar worthy, but it is easy to watch, easy to enjoy, and just watch the movie. Where I started to kind of fall apart is towards the end, where it's been revealed early on what has transpired and why she's on the run. After that, I kind of felt like some of the story kind of got a little weird, although I do like what they do with some of the characters. There's people that are hunting them, so you get the perspective of one of those people, and you also get the perspective of this girl who's kind of meeting all these people as well. So it is interesting what they do with some of these characters, and I like that they added these elements into the film, although it did feel a little too much by the end of the movie. But I think it's pretty admirable what they've done, because once you find out what happens in this movie, I think they do a really good job. And there's practical effects and gore in this film as well. Really changes up the whole story as you watch it. It's a genre bender in that regard. And I kind of knew that going in, because it said it was a horror thriller. Yeah, just keep that in mind when you watch this film so you understand what to expect a little bit. If you like thrillers and you like a little bit of a surprise, it may not make everyone like the happiest person on the planet, but I think it was a pretty decent watch, and I think people should give it an opportunity. Should you do it for $6.99? That's kind of up to you. I would say that maybe you might want to wait, but I'm always about supporting indies. I feel like this one should be at least $3.99, so maybe wait till it comes on a streaming service, but definitely check it out. I think there's some talent involved here. Camera work, the atmosphere, the characters were all really pretty decent, and the acting was well directed. So there's some good things in here, minus a few bad things, but overall, I had a pretty decent time. I wasn't expecting much. I went in blind, so, I didn't have this like huge expectations of this film, but I like the lead character, who is played by Sonya Walger. I thought she did a really good job. And there's other characters like Haley Aaron and Tony Amendola, who I can't explain what their characters are, but just trust me, they have a sort of element about them that is pretty cool too. It's a little tropey in some areas, but if you understand that kind of going in and just expect a couple of surprises, you might really like this one, and you may come out the other end on a higher scale. There are some people who are like blown away by this, and some people who are just completely upset about it, to the point where I think they're being a little too critical. I saw one review give this movie a 1 out of 10, and I really wish people would stop doing that to films that aren't perfect to them. There is still elements in a film that still deserve a score and still deserve a fair review. That's what I pride myself on, is trying to be as fair as possible. So when I give you my score, it's part everything that I saw plus my own personal opinion, which nobody is the same on. So no matter who even the greatest person in your life, like my fucking girlfriend, is never going to be the same as me. But hopefully I can help kind of get you an understanding of what this movie is and maybe find it for yourself. I'd personally give this movie about a 7 out of 10. It's leaning a little bit 6.5, but I still think it's a decent film, and I would like to see what this director does in the future. That said, what do you think about this concept? There's some sort of wording in the actual synopsis of this movie that personally I would just avoid watching or reading like I did, because it just made my experience a little bit better. In other words, I think it's a little too spoilerific, and I think you should just go in, watch the movie. It's an indie film, very small budget, making a big idea fit into a very small film with some really pretty decent acting and practical effects, direction, and camera work. Check it out if you think it's something that might be interesting to you. I wish I could tell you more, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have I intrigued you? Will you wait till streaming, or are you going to check it out now? Let me know in the comment section down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for coming by, and as always, long live the void.